This story is about the time my mom's boyfriend tried to kidnap me. It was during the mid-90s, and I was roughly 6 years old, so the details are a little fuzzy. About 2 years after my parents divorced, my mom started dating the Schwann's delivery man. For those of you who are unfamiliar, Schwann's sells frozen food from special freezer trucks, basically going door to door. For this story, I'll call the boyfriend Bob. At the time of this incident, my mom had dated Bob for about 8 or 9 months. My mom often took care of his toddler-aged daughter while he was at work. I remember something not feeling right, but it may have been the awkwardness of my mom being with someone who wasn't my dad. I was an anxious child, especially after going through the stress of my parents fighting and my dad moving out. On the day it happened, we spent most of the morning running errands. Afterwards, my mom brought Bob's daughter and I to McDonald's for lunch. When we returned home, there were police surrounding our house. A few cars were parked on the street in front, and there was one in our driveway. The next few things are fuzzy. I remember my mom telling me a family friend was coming to get me. She told me to sit on the front steps and wait for him. I vividly recall my mom being handcuffed and walked to the police car. Shortly after, a police officer asked me if I was okay. I was so mad, I literally growled at him. This next part, I remember very clearly. I was sitting on the front steps, sobbing uncontrollably. I didn't understand what was happening. I feared my mom was going away for a long time. Most of the cops left shortly after they took my mom, and those still around weren't paying close attention to me, most likely because I growled at them. I heard someone call my name. I looked up to see Bob, beckoning for me to come to his truck and get in. I shook my head. His face dropped. His tone became aggressive, and his tense body language told me if I didn't get in his truck, he would make me. He pointed his finger at me, narrowing his eyes. He then jabbed his finger in the air in the direction of his truck. Through gritted teeth, he said,
"Get in, now."
I again shook my head, crying out, "No!" This angered him. He proceeded to stomp his foot and began to power walk straight in my direction. He suddenly stopped, turned on a dime, sprinted, and jumped into his truck. It was then I noticed my mom's friend coming up to me from the opposite side of the yard. He helped me gather some things and brought me to his house. I took comfort with his daughters, who were my best friends. Fortunately, my mom was only kept for a little while, and I never saw Bob again. I later found out that Bob had called the police, claiming my mom had kidnapped his daughter. As it turns out, my gut feelings were correct. There was a lot going on that my mom had hid from me. Namely, a nasty custody battle between Bob and his ex-wife, plus a large sum of child support he owed her. I'm really not sure what he had hoped to accomplish with his stunt. There were still cops around, so I'm not sure how he thought he was gonna get away with it. But maybe he was crazy. Anyways, the gravity of this situation hadn't dawned on me until many years later. It's scary to think what would have happened if I had gotten into his truck. It's likely I would have experienced something far worse than death.